inside Biscuits, Brews, and Ball podcast here inside Generations Physical Therapy Studio, Hurricane, West Virginia. And they've got several locations, including one down by Huntington, which is in Barbersville, but Charleston, Nitro, Winfield, Tays Valley, Milton, Barbersville, and Grayson is the location for Generations Physical Therapy. You can check them out on the website, www.generationspt.com. Jack Withrow, along with Bryan England. Again, this is Biscuits, Brews, and Ball podcast. Bryan, this is number 6.
Yeah, doing big things. 6 episodes.
Yeah, 6 episodes on Spotify, Apple. We're on Apple now, right?
Finally.
Well, I clicked the right button.
Only 80% of the world uses Apple, so I'm glad we're finally there.
And also on Google Podcast. We're on there.
YouTube.
And yes, YouTube
has been our highest viewership so far.
People,
probably the cameras so they can look at your ugly
love
face.
to look at my pretty face. So we are on YouTube, so you can check that out on Video Productions YouTube page. So we are over there. You can see our pretty faces on there. But this is episode number 6 here on March 6th, 2022. Kind of a gloomy day here in the Kanawha Valley. It's been raining. Had a great day yesterday.
Yeah.
Perfect weather yesterday.
Perfect soccer weather.
Perfect baseball
60
weather.
60 degrees and raining.
Oh, you're talking about today. I was talking about yesterday. So, but yeah.
Yesterday was awesome.
Yeah, it was. But here we are, postseason basketball for high school basketball here in the state of West Virginia. And we got the girls' state tournament happening this week. It'll start on Tuesday. Now they've got 4 classes. Remember that.
Yep.
4 classes, Quad A. We've got a couple of local teams. Of course, you got Huntington at the number 1 seed. And then you've got Cabell Midland, Capital, and George Washington down at number 8. So that starts on Thursday for Quad A. So big shout out to Coach Cunningham at Capital. I believe it was 3 or 4 seasons ago. Yeah.
They were 0-22. And this year they're in the state tournament.
Yeah.
Won their section, won their region.
Got a really good team, too.
Yeah, I mean, phenomenal turnaround there by Coach Cunningham and the Capital Cougars. And I know that community is very excited for this week and the Capital Cougars ladies being in the state tournament.
Yep. So congratulations to them. Good luck to them and all those teams in Quad A. In Triple A, some area teams. You got Nitro at the number 4 seed. They'll take on Pikeview. And then Sissonville sneaks in there. They defeated Shady Spring. They are the number 8 seed, and they'll take on number 1 Fairmont Senior. So that'll be tough for Sissonville.
Yep, Nitro defending champions, and I know they're going to be ready.
Yep.
Obviously, they lost Bailey Goins to the college level, but I think they returned most of the rest of their team, and they've had a good season. Obviously, had to grind through some stuff early on, but I guess they learned the lessons that they needed to learn, and they pulled out a regional win, a really good regional win, to get to the state tournament. So
was that over Wayne?
Yep.
So good job there. In Class AA, some local teams, Charleston Catholic at number 7 and Buffalo.
Yes.
In there at number 8.
Big time shout out to Buffalo. I don't know when the last time the girls were in the state tournament, but I know it's been some time. Coach Mike Kelly and assisted by Coach Bud Lett, Winfield, West Virginia legend. And
yes.
Former assistant coach on the boys 2004 state championship team. And I know Pat McGinnis, the head coach of Winfield during that span, also helped out some. So really excited to see Buffalo girls get an opportunity to play in the Civic Center.
And then in Class A, not really any local teams in Class A in the field of 8, but there's a team I think that has never been there, and I could be wrong, but it's Union High School has made it in as the number 8 seed.
Congratulations.
Here you go. Well, what's their mascot?
Tigers.
You're good, bro.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, that was a guess.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you cheated.
No, I didn't. I had no idea.
Yes, the Union Tigers are in the field of 8 in Class A, so congratulations to them. Now, regional play for the boys starts this week, and it gets really interesting here around the Kanawha Valley as I'm looking over here. In Region 3, this has been great.
Yep.
But it's been great because I'm a Black Eagles fan, and alumni. But South Charleston got a big victory over George Washington last week in the Section 1 Region 3 championship game. And I can't remember the last time South Charleston has defeated George Washington at George Washington. Much less just beat George Washington.
I know they've had some close ones, and I mean, we talked about the rivalries, the local rivalries the other day, or I guess an episode or two ago, but George Washington and South Charleston is up there in the state when it comes to high school basketball rivalries. Yeah. And they've played in a lot of meaningful games over the years, and this past week was one of them. Yeah. And Josh Daniel and the crew getting a win in the sectional championship, and the first of Josh's tenure at South Charleston, and obviously the things that he's done with that program is pretty awesome to see, So looking forward to seeing how that turns out for the Black Eagles.
Yep. They play Wednesday night at the South Charleston Community Center. They'll host the Tigers of Princeton. And then on the same night, George Washington travels to Greenbrier East. They'll take on the Spartans in that Region 3 co-final. And then Region 4, Huntington at Parkersburg South. And then St. Albans has to go to Cabell Midland.
Yep.
We talked about Cabell Midland. They could be dangerous because they're playing well here at the end of the season.
Right. Yeah, they are. They had a couple really strong victories there towards the end of their regular season. And obviously, anytime you go into Huntington and get a win, with the history of that program and as much athleticism as they put on the floor, it's a good day. So obviously led by senior Chandler Schmidt, his 4-year starter. He's led his team to 3 straight state tournaments, and that's a big deal for Cabell Midland to get to 4 straight state tournaments. So this will be a test, though, because the St. Albans Red Dragons are playing well, and excited to see how they do Wednesday night against Cabell Midland Knights down there in Ona, West Virginia.
And in Class AAA, Sissonville at Shady Spring. Now, that is a mountain to climb for the Indians.
Yeah.
And West Side at Herbert Hoover. Herbert Hoover's kind of laid low, played well.
Right.
They may sneak into the state tournament.
They've had some big Cardinal Conference wins this year. Obviously, made the state tournament last year. Previous to that, Josh Daniel, the current South Charleston coach, led them to the state tournament for the first time, and might have been school history. I can't remember. It was a long time. Yeah, when Josh led them there. So, a lot of Kanawha Valley teams on both sides, boys and girls, in the state tournament. And like I've said in previous episodes, the high school basketball tournament, coming from someone who grew up out of state in North Carolina, this state tournament is pretty special. The whole state convenes on one location for the top 8 teams in each classification, boys and girls, and it's just quite the event. And I've not missed one in probably almost a decade now that I've been living here. So it's been pretty awesome to see over the years these kids being able to go to the Civic Center and live their dream out and try to win a state championship.
It's a fun time for everybody.
Yep.
Just don't break any ankles, okay?
Yeah. I try not to.
That's a joke. Inside joke.
Definite inside.
Also, Nitro at Logan, a tall task for the Wildcats. And then Scott at Winfield in that Class AAA. That ought to be a good one.
Yeah.
So that coming up. Class AA, let's just go ahead and give this whole thing to Polka.
Yeah, I mean,
why not?
No disrespect to anybody. I will say, though, Charleston Catholics, come on towards the end of the season. And,
I'm going to get Catholic hate mail now.
They're playing well, but Polka has Isaac McNeely and obviously Jackson Toney, and those two guys, 1-2 punch with Division I football commit to Marshall University with Toby Payne. So I think that's going to be the dots going away with a victory there. But it's postseason basketball, so
Exactly.
you never know what'll happen.
You never know. I mean, we saw a number one team in the nation go down today in women's basketball.
We did.
In the Mountain East. So, like you said, you never know. And that's why they play the game. Buffalo at Ravenswood in that Region 4 action as well. So that'll be coming up this week. I think Double A's Thursday night. So I like how they play on different nights.
Right.
So it makes it easier for people to follow. But that is the boys' postseason. They're in regional play. And again, the girls in the state tournament at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. I have to learn to say that. So that's coming up on Tuesday, the start of that 5-day event there. So that brings us now
The man,
to
the myth, the legend.
Yes, the myth, the legend.
From Northern England.
I already forgot the town he's from, but it's up
North
north.
Shields,
North Shields. It's
Suburb
just
of
north
Newcastle.
of. Yeah.
I don't know if it's as classy as a suburb.
But Daniel Smee, the head coach of the University of Charleston men's soccer team, is in the studio with us. Let's everybody give up a round of applause. Or somehow. Oh, wrong button. Sorry about that, Daniel.
I'll take the laughter. I'm happy with the laughter.
Daniel? I keep calling you Daniel because I think I'm your dad. I'm sorry. Smee. I got to call him Smee.
I'll call him Coach Smee.
Yeah. See, I've always, and I may have told him, but I've told people at the University of Charleston many times when we do a soccer game and I do commentary, I always want to do a podcast with him, a soccer podcast called Shmee and Me. And we talk about soccer, and I know nothing about soccer.
Well, I know everything. So
And
that's
yes, you know everything
Yeah,
about soccer.
exactly.
So,
That's what I tell people.
yes. So, Shmee, good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. I was supposed to come on last week, I think, but
Vacation.
yeah, first vacation in a while.
Florida.
Down Clearwater Beach. It was very nice.
Now, I've been on like some cruises and I see international dudes walking around.
That's me.
You wear a Speedo, don't you?
Yeah, I've got pink skin,
Yeah.
flip flops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it all.
I figured.
Sunscreen.
Lots of
Lots of
sunscreen.
sunscreen.
Well, yeah, he's from England. You got to get that on there.
Still managed to burn like the inside of my right ankle was the only place. I mustn't have put sunscreen on there, and it was red as anything the next day.
First off, I want to talk about you growing up in North Shields. And did you always play soccer?
Yes. Yeah,
Is that all you played?
Yeah, pretty much. In England, in Britain, I think mainly throughout the world, to be honest, that's the main sport everybody plays, and there'll be certain kids that maybe don't enjoy it and move somewhere else. But I think it's the thing that you start. It's the first thing you play at a very early age, and I was no different. I had a group of friends that we used to meet, and you get 6 weeks off in the summer, like a little summer vacation. We used to all just meet at one of our friends' house, get them out of bed at 9:30 in the morning, and go straight to the field and stay there all day and just play multiple different games of soccer.
You just said vacation. Don't you guys
I
call
know.
it holiday over there?
Yeah, well, I've been here too long. I'm American now. Everyone when I go home tells me I'm American now. So
Really? Yeah.
there'll be some English twang flying around, I'm sure, on this podcast.
So you grew up playing soccer, and that's about all you played. Didn't play tennis.
I played a little bit of tennis in high school. I think
Yeah.
it's probably my next best sport when it comes to how good I am at
Yeah.
something. I'm terrible at basketball, awful at football.
I figured you'd be good at basketball, the height that you have.
Yeah, I'm shocking. I can't shoot. My friends used
You just kick it through.
that'd be nice. That'd be nice. I think in volleyball you can kick it, but I'm terrible. I'm probably
I
the
think so.
worst at volleyball.
Yeah.
But you're allowed to kick it, I think.
I think you can, yeah.
Touches
Whatever you can do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I'm not athletic enough to get up over the net.
Yeah.
I'm awful at everything pretty much, apart from tennis. Any sort of bar game I'm good at too. So
Yeah.
darts I'm good at. Pool I'm pretty good at.
Nice.
Cards, is that a sport?
What?
Playing cards.
Oh, cards.
Poker? Blackjack?
I thought he said cods like a fish.
No, cards.
Cards.
Sorry.
There you go. Cards.
Yeah. I'm actually not very good at cards. Kimmy,
No, I'm
Kimmy
not
beats
either.
me all the time.
It's too boring. You're just sitting there.
Yeah, it's a little slow.
I want action.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How old were you when you started playing soccer or football, as you guys call it over there?
He calls it soccer. He's
Yeah.
American.
I've called it soccer for too long. probably, I don't know, 5, 6, something like that. I remember the first team I joined was a U10 team, I think.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure there was teams younger than that back when I played.
So like
yeah, now there's
elementary
5,
school
6,
age, you didn't have like elementary school soccer teams.
Yeah, we did, but I don't think it was until your second last year, and then your last year was when you played, and that's like 9, 10, and 11, I think. So that was the first teams that I played on. Those were the first teams that I played on. We were good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Enjoyed it.
these are like club teams.
Yes, yeah. So, the way it works in England is there's just soccer every night of the week. So in high school, you'd practice once a week for high school. Then you'd have one high school game per week, and then you'd have one club game per week. And if you were pretty good, you would also play for like your state team or we call it a county team, but
Gotcha.
it's the equivalent of a state, I guess, here in the US. So you'd play for 3 different teams at the same time, basically, from July or August all the way through to May or June. It's like a extended season. It's not like here in the US. I know it's 2 to 3 months, and then you guys are done for the year. Not a fan.
No fun.
No.
Not a fan, huh?
Not a fan.
That's crazy. There's so many different sports here that kids play,
Yeah.
and to see, can you imagine a kid from what you said, August till
Yeah,
June?
the seasons are usually August till June, August
Till
till May,
June, yeah.
9 to 10 months.
And that's
year round.
That's the cultural norm
On 3 teams, he said.
on 3 different teams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
All soccer or footy.
I never call it footy. I don't know why. I've never have. I'm not a fan of that one either.
You'll never hear me say footy
Why
on a
not?
broadcast.
Oh, you just did.
No, I'm talking about when I'm calling Charleston games.
Well, maybe you should.
I may now.
Yeah, you
They might let us slip up.
add it to the lingo that you've picked up in the last few months.
Speaking of lingo, we talked about some things. I think Smee has a list of things that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He talks, I'll say something, and he'll say something. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
He's like, no, over across the pond, we call it something else. So
Yeah,
one of it was a Charlie horse, and they
Dead.
call it a dead leg.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Which
Interesting.
makes sense. Your leg is dead for a little bit. I
Yeah.
guess if it was dead, it would be gone forever. But
I don't know where we got Charlie horse. I got nothing on that.
yeah, I'm not sure where that came from either.
Yeah.
And then I know you picked up nil as a 0.
Yeah.
I know you picked up that. I've
Yeah.
heard you say that a lot of times on podcasts.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's great. On broadcast, sorry.
Yeah.
Doing a very good job.
I'm trying.
You're doing a very
You
good
know,
job.
they first, I think like a little over 25% of University of Charleston student athletes, I was told this, are international.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, half these people watching this and listening to me don't even know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
They just think you're a redneck
yeah.
from West Virginia.
So, but it's funny because I was doing volleyball for the first time. Michael Schultz and I asked us to do volleyball, so we were doing women's volleyball. So we did it for the first year last year during the COVID season, and parents or anybody couldn't come to games then. And the head coach, she came to me before one game, and I said, "Is everything all right? I'm trying my best." She's like, "No, you're funny." She said, "My mom loves you." I'm like, "What? I have no idea what I'm talking about." She goes, "Oh, yeah,
That's
she
what's
knows
funny.
that."
Yeah.
She says, "You have no idea what you're talking about, but it's hilarious." So
I really enjoy doing it with you. It's, have we only done it once? We done it twice.
I think we've done it twice.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe.
Yeah.
I've
Look,
done-
call it a women's game
yeah.
And a men's.
and a men's.
I haven't called the men's game.
Oh.
Obviously, I'm on the sideline.
I was going to say.
I
That's
remember
what,
a few years ago, I was watching. I wasn't at the.
It was
university.
another men's game. So
Oh yeah, you're right. We did a.
yeah,
We
Well-
hosted the national tournament game, and it was 2 other teams.
2 other
playing,
teams,
So I
yeah.
did do that. You're right.
Gotcha.
Great memory.
yeah.
I remember when me and Travis had to do it once. I think you were unavailable,
Okay.
and Ashley called me and she said, "Could you please announce tonight?" And I like it, so I said definitely. And then she said, "Can you ask Gary if he'll do it with you?" Gary's also English,
Right.
and I think he had coaching or something, club coaching, so he wasn't available. So I convinced Travis, and Travis really didn't want to.
That's your other assistant,
That's
right?
Travis. He's from Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
He really didn't want to do it. He's just, no, it's not my thing. I convinced him to do it. He did it. Gary said, "I'll come at halftime when club coaching's finished, and just replace you." And then we were like 30 minutes into the game, and Travis was like, "I'm texting Gary. I'm staying. This is great fun."
This is good.
Nice.
He loved it. So maybe it's
I mean,
if I get fired, I'll do that.
yeah, come on over. I tell Brian all the time.
How much you paying?
You get to be with me.
That's true.
So
I'll take it.
I'll probably bring some type of brew.
I'll take that. Biscuits
Yeah, and some biscuits.
and a ball.
And well, a ball is always there. So, but anyway, let's backtrack again. We were talking about you growing up playing soccer. I'm always interested in, especially international, coming to the United States, how kids get recruited from over there. And I've asked numerous kids this at University of Charleston. It's always a different answer. But for you, what was the process of getting recruited out of high school to come and play in the United States?
Well, firstly, you graduate high school at 16 in Britain.
That's
so,
right.
The student
Are you
athletes.
guys just that much smarter?
No, that's certainly not it at all. I don't know. I disagree with it. I think it should be 18, but that's a completely different topic.
Yeah.
So you graduate high school at 16, and then you have the option to go work. A lot of people just go straight to work at 16, get apprenticeships or whatever. But I think the majority of people then just continue their education at we call it a college. It's from 16 to 18. That's our college. And
Like a
then
prep?
kind of like
Yeah.
prep school stuff. And then 18 plus would be university in Britain. So I was at a college from 16 to 18. I ended up doing a third year as well. So I was there from 16 to 19. And when I came over, there's very few agencies. Now there's hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of agencies throughout the world in every different country that are helping students come out to the US to get these scholarships. Back when I did it, there was only maybe one or two in the whole of Britain. Luckily for me, one of those agencies was based in my college.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a charge to join them, but if you attended this college, it was free. My friend signed up. He went through the whole process. He started in maybe August or September, and he flew over to America. They played like a trial game against some universities from North Carolina. He loved it. He was offered a full scholarship at West Virginia Wesleyan. And then it was February or March time, and I was very late in the process because I wanted to come out that coming fall. And I didn't have a video. I didn't do any of the process really. But the West Virginia Wesleyan College coach, Gavin Donaldson, absolute legend, he just basically took the agency's advice, which was, I'm better than the other player, basically. I was a year older than him, and I'd played at a little bit of a higher level. And they just said, if you've given a full ride to Alex, was his name, you probably would take Dan as well. So Gavin, without even seeing me play, just didn't offer me a full scholarship. I had to pay a little bit early on, and he just said, come over. And I wanted to go with my friend. I didn't really want to kind of come out here alone.
Right.
So I did that, and I just came out. I didn't really know anything about Wesleyan. I just followed my friend who'd done a bit of research and said it looked okay. The funniest part about the whole story is I did 4 years at Wesleyan, graduated, and he left after 6 months.
Oh.
He just didn't like it.
Homesick?
Yeah, homesick. Didn't like Buchanan. It was just very quiet, obviously, and just wanted to go back home. So he stayed until spring break of the first year. We went to Mexico, Cancun, had a great time. He came back, picked up all of his stuff, and flew back to England. Yeah, it was an interesting decision, but it worked out for both of us. He's doing pretty well back home, I believe.
So you played 4 years at Wesleyan,
Yeah.
all conference probably.
No, sorry, I played 3.
3 years.
I was ineligible my first year just
That's
because of
okay.
my academic timeline. I lost a season of eligibility.
Okay.
So I played 3, yeah.
Just a stud, huh?
I was good, but I wouldn't say I was a stud. I was captain 3 years, which was nice.
You skipper.
Skipper, yeah.
Yeah.
El Capitan,
Good job, Jackie.
El Capitan.
yeah.
That's not from England.
I think it's Spanish. It might
Okay.
be.
All right.
One of my guys will tell me if I'm wrong.
You've got an interesting team. I'll
Yeah,
tell
we
you
do.
that.
Guys from all over the place, yeah.
It is, yeah, well blended.
Diverse is the word, I think.
Well,
That's what we like to
they
say.
blend together though nicely,
Well,
is what I like to
hopefully.
say.
That's the hope.
I mean,
every
I'm
year.
looking at records here.
Yeah, we've won some games.
Yeah, few.
Enough.
But so you graduated from Wesleyan and got into coaching.
I did.
Became a GA.
I did.
You coach at Wesleyan?
No, I was a GA at Slippery Rock University.
Slippery Rock.
Up
Okay.
in about 45 minutes north of Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
So I did that for 18 months and then graduated. And you get as an international, after you graduate, you get 1 year of a work visa called an OPT. So I took that and I didn't really have a job lined up. I had some friends that I'd met in Charleston because in the summer months, I had friends in Charleston that I'd met just over the course of my time at Slippery Rock, because in the summers I came down here to play what's USL2 now.
Mhm.
It used to be PDL. And just a couple of them offered me. I actually started working at Quantum Sports, which is just down the road from here, actually.
Right.
I was coaching the young kids classes and just working behind the bar and things like that. Did that for 6 months, and then I was offered a full-time assistant position in North Carolina. I know you're from there, Brian. In Lees McRae College. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I do.
Up in the mountains there.
Yep.
It was great. It was great. I went there for a year, and then my visa was running out. Well, almost a year, and then my visa was running out, and Wesleyan called me and said, "Do you want to come back and be the full-time assistant here? We'll try and take care of your next visa." So I did that. I went back to Wesleyan, worked with Gavin, and I only ended up doing 1 season there, and then the visa thing didn't work out, and I had to go home. I left. I was deported. Can you
Kicked
see that?
out.
For how long?
Well, I just had to leave, basically. And then I was able to get Strats at UC, called me while I was gone. I think I was gone 7 or 8 months.
What year was this?
It was December 2016 I left.
Okay.
And then I was home for about 6 months, living with my parents, working at the college that I used to go to as like a teacher's assistant, playing some soccer at a pretty good level, which was fun. And then Strats called me and he just said, "There's going to be a graduate assistant position at UC opening up in the fall. Are you interested?" And I said, yeah. I was still dating Kimmy and she was living in Charleston at the time. So it was a bit of a no-brainer to come back, and UC's program
Right.
had been to the final, I think, 2 of the previous 3 years. And the only one they didn't was they lost in the semi-final in double overtime. So it was a really good team, and I'm really good friends with Strats. So
Yeah.
it was an easy decision to make, and I end up coming back and being the GA at UC first, and then obviously full-time assistant, and now recently, I guess it's not recently, it's 2 years ago, but head coach.
Yep. Kimmy, when did you meet her?
2015 when I moved here and I was working at Quantum. Yeah. I'm glad
She-
we're talking about her because I know Brian got in trouble for not
Yeah, he
mentioning
did get
his
in trouble.
wife.
That's why I brought her up.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Always
Kimmy-
bring up the wife.
Yeah, Kimmy said make sure you
Smee.
mention me and don't
Oh,
make Brian's
I
mistake.
don't want to get in trouble.
No.
So that's what life is about: learning from other people's mistakes.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm
so
trying.
I learned from mine for sure. So it's episode 2. If you didn't notice, we mentioned Laura.
Yeah, many times.
Yes,
Try to make up the difference.
that's right.
So Kimmy, she played soccer, right?
She did. She was
At
very
Charleston?
good, I heard. Yeah, she was freshman.
You heard?
I heard, yeah.
You guys never go one-on-one? Little 1v1?
I would win that one pretty comfortably. I
Are you
think.
sure?
Yeah. If it was a fight, she would win. But
Oh, okay.
a game of soccer, I'll win that one. I met her in 2015. It's funny. She played at UC, obviously, and I played at Wesleyan, as we've said. Her mom gave her like a box of stuff that they were clearing out their house recently, and just says, "Here's your trophies or whatever from when you were younger." And there was a program from a game that she'd played in there, and it was against Wesleyan, and it had the women's teams on one side and the men's teams on the other side, and we're both in the same program.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's like
Meant to be.
Memento.
she loves that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to get framed, I think.
Kimmy.
But she was good. She was all freshman of the year, I think, for the conference, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep. Played for 4 years.
Yeah, she tells me she was better at lacrosse in high school. She had a lot of D1 offers for lacrosse.
Is
but
she from New York?
She's from Long Island, New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a coach in the area, as you know. But she said she's better at lacrosse. She had D1 offers, but she didn't enjoy playing it. She wanted to play soccer, so she thought she was going to Charleston, South Carolina.
No way.
Yeah, it's true. So she thought, I guess she'd had interest from, is it the College of Charleston?
College,
Yeah.
College.
She'd
College
had
of
interest from
Charleston.
them
Yep.
like months before, and she said she got an email from Todd Duguid, obviously women's soccer coach at University of Charleston, but she thought it was the College of Charleston coach. Said, yeah, I'll come on a visit. They woke up 5 a.m. ready to drive down, put the address in the GPS, and it said West Virginia, and they had to call Todd to say, "Are you sure you've given us the right address? Because this says West Virginia." And he said, yeah, we're in West Virginia. And they thought, well, we're already packed, let's just go. We'll see what it's like. And she ended up loving it. Had
Really?
a great recruiting trip and
That's awesome.
met some new friends on the team and ended up coming down here and staying here. Still here now.
Speaking of accents, obviously Kim is from New York, and in America,
Not just New York, Long
Long
Island.
Island. We have different accents, within our country. My daughter, who's played some soccer for Kim, we were talking probably about a month ago, and she said, I told her that Kim was going to move on to coaching another age group, and she said, "Oh man," she's like, "I'm going to miss playing for Coach Kim. I really love her accent." So that's her first New York accent she's ever heard.
It's pretty clear. Yeah, it's a strong accent.
Yeah.
She's like me, where it's kind of it's changing from what it used to be. Our accents.
Yeah, mine did too.
When we go home,
moved up
we get reminded, right? When you go home, they say your accents change.
Yeah.
But when her parents come to visit, or they're straight New York.
Comes back.
They're straight New York. You can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's got relatives that live in New Jersey, and their office is in New York City, so they live right across our border. But yeah, they've got strong New York, New Jersey accents.
I can't really tell the difference between many accents in the US. I know Americans can. I think the Boston one's clear, New York's clear, and the Southern,
Yeah.
you can tell that one's got a bit of a twang. But other than that, I can't really tell.
I was in Wheeling this week for the MEC basketball tournament, and I stopped one morning and ate breakfast at Bob Evans, and the lady had waited on me the whole time, and then at the end she said, "You want some coffee to go?" And I said, "Sure, I'll take some coffee to go." And she's like, "You're from the South, aren't you?" I'm
Straight
like,
away.
"Yeah, about 3 hours south." Not that far.
Right.
She's like, "I could tell you got an accent." I'm like, "Wait a minute, lady, maybe you've got an accent." But I told her where I was from and what was why I was up there. But yeah, even like 3 hours, they can tell.
I wouldn't be able to tell that. No,
Yeah, but
no chance.
they're Wheeling next to, or almost right next to Pittsburgh. They've got that Pittsburgh thing going, Yins.
Yinzers, yeah.
So, but yeah, so you and Kimmy knotted up.
Yes.
Good.
I broke my wedding ring yesterday, so I'm not wearing it.
Wow,
Nice.
broke it.
It was. I don't wear my nice one. I had a rubber one.
The rubber one.
The
Yeah.
cheap one,
Oh.
but it snapped yesterday. So I think I'm just going to get a tattoo. It's just so much easier.
Yeah. I've been married 26 years.
It's impressive.
It is, especially with me. It's impressive for her.
God bless her.
Yes. Great lady. But we obviously got married and had gold wedding bands, but I think maybe our 20th wedding anniversary went out and got tungsten rings. Or I did. I don't know what she
Bougie.
got. She got something else really nice. It's not really bougie for me, but, it's a cool ring.
Yeah.
Tungsten.
Oh yeah.
You know-
Sounds manly.
You're not wearing it.
No, sometimes I wear it, sometimes I don't.
When you're
So-
hanging out with the guys, you take it off.
Yeah,
I know how it goes.
Yeah. Don't tell Kenny.
Especially in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. all these wild things that go on. In
Yeah.
That's right.
Crazy things down here. But so now you're the head coach of the University of Charleston. And you guys are dominant. I'm going to say that.
Not dominant enough in
Well-
December, unfortunately.
I mean, dominant teams still lose games. But
It's just I'd rather not have lost that one.
I know. I'm trying not to bring it up. You keep bringing it
Yeah,
up.
I'm sorry. Can't get over it.
But you guys are playing well, I'm telling you. And I say it's a good blend of players from around the world. Talk about the recruiting process, because here's what happened. I'm doing a basketball game one night. I think it was like a Sunday night or Sunday afternoon game. And then 2 days later, I see you online. You're like over in Europe somewhere on a recruiting trip.
I'm flying to France tomorrow, actually. Yeah,
Talk
it's the
about
same thing.
that. Most of the time we're talking around college football and how they recruit, like West Virginia recruits Florida athletes and Texas athletes and Pennsylvania. You're going all around the world recruiting players for the University of Charleston.
Yeah, as I said, when I came over in 2017, it was the program was already very, very good, and they had a lot of internationals at that time. So when Strats was head coach and I was the assistant, we did the same. And then when he moved on, we're still doing the same. I think we certainly don't have anything against domestic student athletes, Americans. But from my experience, it's just really difficult to get the best American players to come to a small private Division II school in West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the best American players want to go and play at a big Division I school or a Division I school. So just trying to convince them to come to us, even though we are very good, it is difficult. If it was a little bit easier, then we'd certainly do a lot more of it. But it's difficult. So we obviously tap into the international market. We have a lot of contacts throughout the world that know how our model works and they sort of know the level of the team. So we'll reach out to them during recruiting season and see if they've got any guys they think might fit. As I said before, there's hundreds and thousands of agencies out there nowadays. So, we must get between 30 and 50 emails a day.
Really?
And at certain times of the year, this time being one of those times where
just hey, I've got this player.
Yeah, they've got this player. They'll put showcases on. So this week I'm going to France, and there's a showcase over in France with a top agency over there who've had a lot of success with the kids they've sent over here. So I think they've got 100 kids signed up. They'll all play in a couple of games over the course of a couple of days. There'll be dozens of coaches there just watching the games, and then we'll pick the ones you like or the ones that maybe play a position that you need, and then you'll reach out to those players at the end of the showcase and hope it works out.
Do you have any recruiting trips to like the Bahamas or anything?
No, I need to I'm the head coach. I need to figure that part out.
You're going to need a chaperone.
Yeah. I mean, France is pretty nice. Paris. Yeah. I've never been, but
It's probably cold there right now, though.
I checked the weather today. It's like 50. It's okay. It could be worse.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. Obviously, spent quite a few years coaching. 12. This is my first year off. I don't know how long that's going to last, but I do miss it. It's when it's in your blood. It's in your blood.
Yeah.
And I know you can attest to that. But from a coaching standpoint, obviously you stepped into a program that was very successful, but you've made it your own. And I want to know, based off of your success and your experience as a player, and then going into coaching as a grad assistant and assistant coach, what's your philosophy? What's your what mission statement? Your why? How you motivate your players. Like, if I'm sitting in the locker room listening to Coach Smee in a preseason meeting as we're getting ready to make a run at a national championship, what are you telling your players? This is who we are. This is what we're doing.
That's a great question. That's obviously something as a coach you get asked quite a lot. For me, I think from my standpoint as a coach, one of my best qualities is I think my personality. I think I get on quite well with almost everyone. There's certainly some people who probably don't like me, but I think my relationships with the student athletes and the rest of the staff are probably a large part of some of the success that we have. And then just in relation to our program, we talk about three things really. When I became the head coach, we tried to narrow things down into 3 words of sort of, if we do these 3 things and we have these 3 things, we'll be good, because we'll always have good players. Yeah. We got to try and make sure we have good people, but the 3 things are just accountability. So just taking accountability for your actions. If you do make a mistake, be the first one to own up and apologize. Respect, just having respect for yourself, your teammates, the program, the community. That's obviously a huge part of the mission statement within the University of Charleston is community outreach. So I think respect kind of covers all of those areas. And then just effort. We talk about effort all the time. And there might be those days where you don't feel like practicing, or you're having a tough day at school, or maybe you've got a good final coming up and you don't want to go out to practice, but there's no excuse not to try. And you might be given the possession of the ball away all the time, but you can still go and try and get it back, So I think effort on the field, but also in the classroom, with being a student athlete, it's obviously a huge part of things. So those are the 3 that we talk about a lot, and we're trying to really hammer those home. And I think a huge part of college coaching is making sure that when the guys leave, they're better people than they were when they arrived. So
what I love
those
about
3 things are important.
Sorry to interrupt. What I love about that is the accountability, respect, and effort. Obviously, is the expectation for your kids in the program. I'm sure for your coaches as well. But none of that happens without good relationships, you know, and those two coincide. I think, you know, any great team, you're going to have a relationship as a coach to where they trust you, you know, and when they trust you, accountability, respect, and effort are going to be evident. You know?
And that's the hope. I think I try to be very honest. I think I try to tell the guys as it is all of the time, and sometimes you do have to be really careful with how you're saying it or what you're saying. But I think as long as you're honest and you give the guys a reason to trust you, then as you say, it helps in the process. And with the University of Charleston men's soccer program, we're always going to have good players as long as we have the model that we currently have, which is a very good one. So as I said before, as long as we can get good people and guys who are willing to do those three things and show those three things that they have them, then we're going to be fine. And Jack mentioned how good we are, how good we've been over the last few years in relation to results, and I think that's a huge part of it.
Yep.
It's awesome. Bryan, you got family from England?
Yeah. My grandfather was born in Birmingham, England, and his mother.
And your last name's England.
I was thinking that.
Different side of the family.
Okay. That's wild, though.
My grandfather's mother, her maiden name is Pagan, and she married a leg from Sissonville, West Virginia, who was a
It all comes back to West Virginia, buddy.
U.S. soldier, U.S. soldier during World War II. Which, for those that don't know, a little history lesson: West Virginia produced quite a few soldiers during World War II. Talk about taking up the call to arms. We did it, and we've done it in about every war. But U.S. soldier over there, met my great grandmother, and native of Birmingham, and still have cousins and great aunt, great uncle. I talked to a couple of them prior to the podcast just to see if they had any prior knowledge of Northern England, and most of them have stayed mostly around Birmingham or south. Obviously before the show, I asked Coach Smee what he knew about Birmingham. Have you have any experience in the city? Or
I don't think I think I have been once because I went to a Newcastle game, who was just a team I support. They played. I've been twice actually because I saw them play Birmingham, and then Aston Villa.
Birmingham City,
and then Aston Villa's in Birmingham too. The stadiums are very close, and I've been to see Newcastle play both those teams. I think we lost both games actually. We're not very good. Anyway, that's the only time I think I've been. The only other thing I know about Birmingham is the accent is, in my opinion, the worst accent in Britain.
That's awesome.
Anyone who's seen Peaky Blinders, the Netflix show, that's the Birmingham accent. We call it a Brummie accent.
Brummie,
Brummy, in my opinion, it is the most shambolic accent of all time. It's terrible.
Well, I will share that information if they don't watch this podcast with David and Steve Meller and Sally and Roy Perkins and Uncle Derek and Aunt Dot, and we'll see if they agree with it being
I'm
the
sure
worst
they're great
accent.
people, but their accents are not very good.
But no, that's I've not had a chance to go over. Everybody else in my family has, and I think it'll be cool one day when we can make that happen. But inflation, it's kind of hitting us pretty hard.
Tell them
right
you
now.
know Daniel Smee.
I will. Let him know.
Whatever you need. You do need to get over there, though. It's
I would love to.
It's good. I think most American people that I know that go will love it because of the history that's over there. Kimmy loves the castles and all of those things.
And that's what I grew up obviously visiting the family. They would come down here yearly or bi-yearly, but as I got into adulthood, I became a history teacher, taught world history, and obviously part of world history is the history of Great Britain. And so it's been, I've done everything but get over there. So it's going to be cool when I do get a chance to do that.
Well, the world's a crazy place right now.
It is.
Might be difficult.
Yeah. Newcastle, huh? That's your team?
Yes, it is.
Man, how's that been?
It's been rough for about 31 of my 31 years.
New ownership, though.
Yeah, now we're in a great position.
Yeah, all the money.
Yeah, we have. I think it's something crazy. Like our new owners have more money than every other Premier League team combined, or something. Like significantly more money than all those.
And that'll pay off eventually.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I think the main aim this season is to just stay in the Premier League.
Where are they at on the table now?
They were 19th or something when the
Okay.
owners came in, and now we're 13th or 14th. And
Gotcha.
if you're
So
18th,
you're safe.
19th, or 20th, you'll be going down. But we
Right.
have a very tough run of games coming up.
Yeah.
So I think there's about 10 games left. We'll see.
So there's going to be a whole lot of listeners that don't understand the whole relegation process. So for those that don't know, in my opinion, professional sports, you eliminate tanking. In America, we have no idea. You suck on purpose in order to get draft picks, and then we can be good. In
Yeah.
professional soccer in Europe, it's not how it works.
I think in every country apart from
In
the
every
US.
country,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, if you finish, it'll be different for different leagues. But in the Premier League, if you finish in the bottom 3 teams of 20, you go down to the league below, and then the top 3 teams from the league below come up.
Yep.
But there's probably 9 or 10 leagues, so you can go all the way down. And once,
Yep.
I mean, eventually you're going to hit the bottom, and you can't go any further.
If you Americans that are listening need a reference, you can tune into Sunderland Till I Die on Netflix.
That's my
And
favorite show.
It's a great show, and
Is this a soccer show?
It's a Netflix documentary about Newcastle's rival team. It's like our closest rivals, just really having high hopes to do good things, and then I don't want to ruin it, but
yeah.
at the end they don't do very good things. That's why I love it so much. The pain on their supporters' faces is lovely.
Well, you know what Newcastle needs.
What's that?
You know, I used to coach football in high school.
Are you trying to be Ted Lasso?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
That's true.
If anyone listening hasn't seen Ted Lasso, they need to see it. It's
That's
so
me.
funny.
I'm your guy.
He's so funny.
What are you
It's
doing
a
with
good
that
show.
mic over
I
there?
don't know. I'm trying to figure out the best place to put it.
You're good, man. You're like wrestling the mic.
Wrestling.
There you go, wrestling.
Yeah, that's
There's your southern thing right there.
a West Virginia Southern thing.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Well, let's get back on track. Food,
Yeah.
Biscuits.
biscuits.
What do you call it over there?
That would be scone.
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 Now you
Some
brought
people
me,
say scone. I say scone.
and I'm going to have to get the camera here. You brought me these.
Yeah, they're very good. Very good.
I'm looking at it, and it says McVitie's
Yeah,
digestives.
chocolate digestives. Yeah, they're very good.
Am I going to be in the loo later for a
No.
long time if
No.
I eat
The
these
loo.
I don't know why-
digestives?
I don't know why they're called I don't think that's related. I don't think so. Anyway.
Okay.
I wouldn't just don't eat the whole whole pack.
Not
just in
one.
case.
Okay, just a
But they're
couple.
very
Let's
good.
ease into these,
Yeah, I think
just in case.
You like chocolate, right? You like milk
Yeah,
chocolate.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll ease into these. These are wheat biscuits with milk chocolate flavoring coating.
Everyone in America is going to be so confused by the biscuits with
Yeah.
chocolate combination, but it's not the same. They're basically cookies, but we call them biscuits.
Yeah,
So
I learned that from Ted Lasso.
Yeah, I brought you some as a gift.
I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Make sure you get Brian one.
Any extra large shirts and jackets or anything? It says Charleston Soccer on it.
Yeah, we do. We'll get you one of those too.
I'll wear my
Two
boots.
of those.
Yeah,
We'll get
boots.
two.
Two
Yeah,
of
we'll get
those.
two.
Yep.
Yeah.
Extra large for you, Brian?
Yes, I'm
On.
an XL.
Yeah, they call
Yeah.
cleats boots.
Yeah.
I knew that. Yep.
So
I call them cleats now. It's just easier.
yeah, I knew you told me that because you're Americanized.
Yep, unfortunately. Well, I guess maybe not. Unfortunately, I don't know.
I say unfortunate.
He's well blended.
That's right.
It's,
Cultured.
it's the American way.
I'm a chameleon. I just change wherever I go. I'll be French.
Nah.
I'll be French next week.
So we call biscuits scones. What about the beer in England? Like, what's the? I mean, one of my bucket list things is to go into a hole in the wall pub
Mm-hmm.
that only the locals go to. It's not a tourist attraction.
You just need to go red carpet in Charleston. That's exactly what that is.
Oh my!
Been there.
Yeah.
All right, so something similar to that.
No, the pubs in England are different.
Yeah.
Almost
like coffee shops.
No, I wouldn't say that. I don't really know how to explain them. If you can Google them and have a look, they're usually, I don't know how to explain them. They're just British pubs that I think they're unlike anything else in the world, but there's thousands of them. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
My wife when she came to visit, was shocked because you walk down a high street and it's like coffee shop, so it's cafe, like we call it, it's like, I don't know, it's like a restaurant, like a, I'm trying to think what it's like. Anyway, it's like a cafe, a somewhat of a restaurant and then a bar, and it just goes like that. Three shops. Maybe there's a shop like a clothing store or something in between, but there's just pubs every 50 feet from each other.
So every third store
Yeah, pretty
or
much.
location's a pub.
Yeah, my wife was shocked by that when she saw
Why
it.
do you guys drink so much?
I don't know. You know, in America, when someone says you want to go for a coffee,
Yeah.
and you go for a coffee with someone, in England, it's do you want to go for a beer?
Yeah.
And you just go and have a beer instead, two, 3 beers, and then just walk home. Everything's so close together as well.
Yeah.
You just walk.
You just
you know,
walk, yeah.
you can just walk everywhere.
What's the legal drinking age in
18.
18?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all international, I think.
Yeah. Well, Denmark is 16.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
is
a lot of the European countries are 16.
Okay.
Yeah. England's 18.
We had a foreign exchange student at Winfield High School one time who came over here his senior year, Matthias. Shout out Matthias.
I remember him.
I'm going to give him
Yeah.
a clip of this so he'll listen to it. But he's from Denmark, and he used to tell me they would get done like at the end of his high school when he was 16, he would get done, and they would just walk down the street to the cafe or bar or pub or whatever
Yeah.
it is, have a beer with his buddies, and then either walk or take the bus, but they were all right there, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's what happens.
No.
A lot of the Gary, or one of our assistants that you see, English guy, it always brings it up. When you used to finish a game, if it was an away game in Britain, you'd be on like a minibus. You'd finish a game if you won, even if you lost. Really, you'd stop at like an off license, which is where you buy alcohol.
Mhm.
You just buy like a case of beer and just sit on the bus and just drink it. Obviously, the driver wouldn't. But,
Right. Yeah.
and the whole team would just be sitting there having beers on the way back. And obviously, college sports, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But
Right. Yeah.
that's like a big tradition in
culture.
England too.
Culture difference, I tell you. Speaking of beer,
That's
obviously we
Yeah,
own
I've
we
been
own
waiting
the,
for this.
we own the
So,
tap.
yeah.
Yep. And it's obviously we sell craft beer amongst other things, and biscuits, or excuse me,
Biscuit. You got biscuits?
Yeah, no, no. We're gonna have a little tasting here with Daniel Smee. This beer is from Weathered Ground Brewery in Ghent, West Virginia, and it's called Blonde Across the Pond, and I thought it was very fitting for the podcast today.
Definitely.
And it's a blonde ale brewed with traditional English yeast, according to them, and noble hops. Very easy sipping ale, brewed for warmer weather, which we're getting into that. So we're gonna try it out here.
Crack the seal there.
Yeah, see what.
I've been waiting for this for 30 minutes.
See
I've
what.
been looking right at it.
You're just all fidgety over there looking at that beer.
I know. It's the presentation.
While he's opening that, what's the off season like for soccer?
I think it's
For
like
you
any,
guys.
any other college sport. I think,
Yeah.
as I said before,
You guys lift weights?
yeah, we not heavy.
Yeah.
I think obviously soccer, you don't necessarily need to get overly bulky. It's
Right.
a lot of trying to get a little bit more agile or quicker, or maybe a little bit stronger, but mainly just trying to be able to move a little quicker and sharper. Yeah, as I said before, I'm not a huge fan of the collegiate way it works with 2 to 3 months playing 2 to 3 games per week. I don't think it's good for athletes or students really, if they're expected to do schoolwork and then they get 10 months of the year to do very little. I mean, right now we're limited to only 8 hours per week. Only 4 of those hours can be with a ball. The other 4 can be conditioning, as you said,
Right.
which I don't think is enough. And then we get a 45-day window when we can go full time, which is nice. That's when we play all of our scrimmages. We're allowed 5 scrimmages. That's the fun part of the spring
So you
semester.
got to have like a spring.
Like a spring schedule
Yeah.
of exhibition games, which is fun, but it's obviously not as fun as the actual competitive season in the fall. I wish it was year round like it is back home. And I know in Division 1 soccer they've talked about potentially introducing a year round model for soccer. And I know I think it was about to get voted on by a bunch of people in Division 1 right before COVID hit, and then it's kind of been pushed back. So I'm not sure that'll happen anytime soon. Would be nice to see, though, I think, personally.
You guys take a drink.
Oh, yeah.
Well, in the spirit of the what I was going to say prior to
Okay.
when I said biscuits, in the spirit of the Biscuits Brews and Ball podcast, we got the Blonde Across the Pond, and cheers to Coach Smee for joining us today.
Cheers.
It's about time.
It's good.
You like it?
It tastes like beer you'd have in a pub in England.
Would it?
Yeah,
Here
So
you go.
that might be the English yeast and noble hops.
probably.
They
Yeah.
might be pretty accurate with that.
This is good.
Yeah,
I might have to get some
Awesome.
more.
Yeah, absolutely. It's on tap right now. Weatherground Brewery out of Ghent, West Virginia. And
Shout out Ghent, West Virginia.
absolutely.
Where is that?
Do you know where that? You don't even know.
I think
It's
Brian
down-
mentioned it's next to Beckley earlier.
Yeah, south of
Okay.
Beckley.
South
yeah.
of Beckley. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Towards-
You
Bluefield.
pass it going to Concord.
it's
Towards Bluefield area.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of
Okay.
our favorite breweries at the tap, and so obviously we try to get as much as we can from them, but kind of have a deep appreciation for the homegrown brew, which this is. So
It's very good.
yep,
Good stuff.
Blonde across the pond.
blonde across the pond.
Very fitting.
That's right.
Smee from across the pond.
Yes, sir.
So, you talked about, I want to, real quick, you talked about the exhibition games you guys play. You had a couple against WU and Marshall this past fall.
Yeah, right at the start. Yeah.
Played pretty well against both of them.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think in Division 1 you get, I think it's 10 days or 14 days more of pre-season, or they come in 10 or 14 days earlier than we do in Division 2. So we literally turned up on the weekend. The guys came back into town. We trained Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then played Marshall on Thursday. So we only had 3 days of
On
prep.
3 days of practice.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You went down there and kicked their butt.
I wouldn't go that far.
I will.
I mean, you can if you want, but
Defending national
Yeah.
champions.
You
well,
beat
we
them.
both were, which was great. I think
Yeah,
it was great
yeah.
for this. What was really disappointing, not really disappointing, but somewhat disappointing, was we played on a Thursday, and we played at 1 o'clock. So it was Division 1 national champs versus Division 2.
Mm-hmm.
We played Thursday at 1 o'clock just because of the way the field scheduled, and Marshall had a game, their regular season game coming up the following week. So the crowd really wasn't great. It was still better than I thought it was going to be, but
Yeah.
then there was an absolute torrential downpour
Yeah.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the first half.
Yeah.
So in the second half, there was nobody there, which
Right.
that was
Yeah.
a real shame, just because of, firstly, who the two teams were and how
Right.
good they were, but the quality of the game as well was very,
Oh,
very
man.
good. So it was that was a bit of a shame. But yeah, as you said, we managed to get the win, and I think Chris, the head coach there, Chris Grassi, who's a good friend of mine, I
Mhm.
think he appreciated the fact that that happened to them at that time, because
Yeah.
it gives them a bit of a wake-up call
Yeah.
before the season started the following week. And then we did like a recovery session on the Friday, and then we went up to Morgantown and played WVU on the Saturday. I mean, in all honesty, we should have lost to WVU. We were knackered. We were real tired at that
Yeah.
point. We tied 0-0, but I mean, they should beat us. We'll take the draw, and we got
Yeah.
out of there, and 2 very good results. And
Yeah.
when we're talking about recruiting, it's nice for us to be able to say that we were
Yeah.
able to compete with those 2 very, very, very good teams.
Yeah, that's cool. Of course, you mentioned Coach Grassi and Coach Daniel Stratford at WU, both former head coaches at University of Charleston. So the coaching tree.
Yeah, both very good friends of mine. Chris is from Newcastle as well. I didn't know him before I came out here, but I met him when he was the head coach at UC, and then Strats was the assistant. And, Chris coached the USL2 and PDL team here, and I ended up coming to play for him. I played with Strats because he was playing, and me and Strats became good friends, and still are to this day, and same with Chris.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice. It's nice that it all came around the University of Charleston success, and it's also nice that everyone's within about 2.5 hours of each other, or 3 hours, I guess, from
Yeah.
Huntington to Morgantown. And everything's staying in West Virginia, and obviously the teams. I was talking to
That's beautiful.
there was a showcase this weekend at Shawnee Sports Complex, the East Coast College Showcase. I think it's the name of it. And I was down there. I was speaking to one of the guys that were putting it on, Jeff Cox, and he was saying just how happy he is at the quality of soccer in the state,
Yeah.
with West Virginia Tech as well. And obviously Davis and Elkins never really get any love around
Right,
here, but they
right.
had a really good season this fall. We played them 4 times and we only beat them once.
Yeah.
Well, we beat them the second time on penalties. It goes down as a draw, I guess. But I mean, I guess we won because we won on penalties. But
Right.
then we tied them and lost to them once, and they were very good this season. And then you've got Rio Grande. I know it's not technically West Virginia, but it's
Local.
only an
It's
hour
right there.
from here.
Yeah.
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 So it's in Ohio, but really good group of men's soccer programs in the area, and obviously there's some very good women's teams too.
Yeah. I followed girls soccer here in the state of West Virginia with Brian's
Sister-in-law.
sister-in-laws. They played at Marshall.
Okay.
But
With
the quality of
Bob Gray? Was it with Bob Gray?
With Kevin Long.
Kevin Long,
Yep.
sorry. Yeah.
Yep.
Bob
Yep.
Gray was the men's coach. Sorry. Kevin Long, yeah.
Yeah, they both played under Kevin. Graduated from Winfield.
yeah.
Won, I guess,
Numerous state
Jane won
titles.
3 state championships and Mary won 4. And then they got recruited by Marshall and
What's their last name?
Lawman.
Yeah, I know who they are.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I know Marshall's been pretty good. I know they've got a coach from Newcastle now too.
On the women's?
On the women's side, Swan is his last name. And then I know West Virginia State women's coach.
Yeah.
They had a good season as
Yeah.
well, by
Yeah.
the way. And she's from Newcastle too.
Yeah.
So it was a bit
Wow.
of a Newcastle takeover.
Breeding ground of soccer.
Yeah.
And what I was getting at, I've always thought, girls soccer here in the state of West Virginia has been really good.
Right.
And boys as well. Are we becoming a soccer state here in the state of West Virginia?
I mean, after Marshall won the national championship, I think that's what everyone was saying.
Yeah.
And Strat's got it rolling in Morgantown.
Yes.
And their women's team's always been good.
Yeah, they've typically been the best team in
Yeah.
the whole state,
Yeah.
success-wise, I think. And I'm not sure how they did this year. I don't think they did as well as maybe they thought
Right.
they were going to or wanted to, but I know they're always a powerhouse. I think West Virginia State women's team is going to be very good soon.
Yeah.
UC's women are always in and around of a shout of the national
Mm-hmm.
tournament.
Concord women.
Concord women are killing it right now.
Yep.
Another English coach down there, Luke, good guy. He's actually just taken over the men's program as well, so he's going to have. I've spoke to him about it. He's going to be very busy. He's got a
Yeah.
lot.
Both programs?
Took over the
Oh,
second,
my.
but his women's program, the women's program has what we have, which is 2 teams, like we call it a development team,
Yep.
first team and a development team. And they
Gotcha.
have the same, so he's essentially coaching 3 teams at the same time down there. So
Right.
I'm interested to see how he does, but he's a great coach.
Wasn't
so.
D&E's head coach kind of over both men and women?
Dean was doing the men and the women as
Yeah.
well. I'm not sure he's going to do it next year because I don't think it was. It was a lot. It was a lot of work for him.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much he enjoyed doing that. But yeah, I think him and Luke are good friends. Luke, the coach down at Concord, and I think that might be why Luke. I think Luke spoke with Dean about it, and that's why he ended up taking the men's job. The Concord men's team have not been great recently, to be honest. Last couple of years, but I'm sure Luke will get them going somehow. I don't know how high he could take them, but they're going to be
Yeah.
a bit much better than they have been, I'm sure.
Yeah, so soccer here in the state of West Virginia, and like you said, over at Rio Grande, right across the border there. I mean, it's really good right now.
Yep.
So
Yeah, very good. I think Wesleyan, I'm hoping, obviously as an alumni from West Virginia Wesleyan, that they can kind of get things rolling again. I know there was, from what I've heard, the president there wasn't a big college athletics fan, so their programs have taken a hit in the last couple of years.
Funding goes a long way, too.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he recently moved on. I got the email as an alumni to let me know. And I think the hope is within athletics down there that
Right.
they're going to get an athletics president in and they're going to help with funding and
Right.
things kick off again, hopefully, because Wesleyan, when I was there, we were always pretty good.
yeah,
Yep.
I think athletics. You have a good athletics program that helps recruit other students to your school.
Especially as a small
Yeah.
private school.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So,
I think if you're a big state school, maybe a little different, but
Yeah.
I'm sure Alabama might be able to. I think I read somewhere that Alabama's enrollment's almost doubled or something since
Yep.
Nick Saban went there, who's
Oh, yeah.
also from West Virginia.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, it all starts here in West
Is-
Virginia. It comes back to West Virginia.
Is Jimbo Fisher
Jimbo
from West Virginia
Fisher.
too?
Yeah,
that's right.
That's what I
Up
heard.
in Marion County.
Jerry West.
Am I
Jerry
crazy
West.
to hope that Nick Saban gets a WVU football job one day? Will
Yes.
that never happen?
Don't hold your breath.
Okay.
There's a number of people out there that thought, or at one point in time, that Nick would come home or Jimbo would come home, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
And I like Neil Brown. I think
He's doing okay.
he's a good quality guy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So stand-up
We'll see.
person.
I mean,
I went to visit a friend of mine who's from Charleston and lives in Orlando when I was in Florida last week, and we went to Universal Studios, so we were
Mhm.
spending a lot of time waiting in line for the rides, and he gave me the rundown on West Virginia football history
Mhm.
while we were waiting in one of the lines. So
Nice.
my knowledge this week is a lot better than it would have been last week. Not that I know a lot, but
Yeah.
I know a little bit.
you're learning. You know
I'm
why you're
learning.
learning? Because you listen to this podcast.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Episode 6 right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all caught up. I had a good 24 hours.
Maybe the best
So,
yet.
Yeah.
I hope so.
What's your favorite food here in West Virginia?
Oh, that's a great question. Tudor's is pretty good. Tudor's, like the biscuits over there, are unbelievable.
This is a
Oh,
Susie's.
well, no.
I've heard you talk about Susie. I haven't had it. I don't know. Is it a fast food? thing,
It
or is
hurts Jackie's heart.
No,
that you said
it does
Tudor's.
not. People think that I'm down on Tudor's. I'm not. I like Tudor's biscuits.
But they're not as good.
They're just not as good to me as a Susie's biscuit.
Is
So
Susie's
you
a
and I-
takeout place or is like a sit-down
it's
cafe?
It's
or-
a sit
It's
down.
both.
Okay.
It's got a drive-through.
All right.
But
I'm in.
you and I, one morning, we're going to go.
I'm in.
I mean, the biscuits are that big.
Yeah, that's why you like them.
Yeah.
They have really
Portion.
good French toast sticks too.
Yeah.
They're like this big. They're
Okay.
phenomenal.
Hey, where is it?
It's in South Charleston.
South Charleston. Oh, it's close.
Right
Yeah.
off of 60. Yeah,
Okay.
it's probably a 10-minute drive from UC.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you'll take the guys there.
So
Post-game meal.
Tudor's.
Maybe not.
That's
Maybe not.
Tudor's is your favorite.
What are my options? You know, what else could I have said there?
I mean, there was plenty of restaurants here in the
I mean,
Canal Valley.
I'm a huge Pies and Pints fan,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's specific to West Virginia. It's kind of there's a few around the
Yeah.
globe, but I mean, I might get some tonight. To be honest,
Really?
Yeah.
Pies and Pints.
What do you get there?
I mean, any of the pizzas are great.
Yeah.
The wings are. I don't know if you've had the wings
Oh, yeah.
over there.
Wings are good.
They're grilled, so I like to think that they're a little healthier than
Mhm.
regular wings. Maybe not, but that's what I tell myself. And they're very, very good. And then I usually get a portion of wings with a pie, a
Yeah.
pie. Doesn't matter which one. They're all very good. The salads are good too. Spinach
Yeah.
salad, very good.
Pizza. When you talked about pizza, my favorite pizza, and Brian's family introduced this to me, the Lawmans, is Everoni's down in Canova.
Yep.
It's
Everoni's.
wonderful.
West Huntington.
Okay. I quite like Husson's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Husson's is good. We got a Husson's here.
Yeah,
I had,
like Husson's.
of course, I was in Wheeling, and Chris Wade's up there for the MEC. Of course, he's got to go and buy me a pizza. DeFelice Brothers Pizza.
Okay.
I mean, it was good. Still not Everoni's to me. Everoni's, it's got the sweet sauce.
Yeah, I've never had some.
And
I do like pizza.
That's why I like it. But I also had something else up there that wasn't all that great. I
I'm
can't
pretty sure
remember.
when Kimmy's family comes to West Virginia, they always say Pies and Pints pizza is like the only pizza they've had here that is as good as New York pizza,
Gotcha.
which is I think is a big statement from a
It is.
New Yorker.
Is that a thick? Do they do a thick style pizza, or is that more of a Chicago thing?
No, it's not thick. It's
Okay.
thicker than thin crust. It's just a
Yeah.
regular size, I think.
Okay.
But it's not thick, yeah.
So they don't come down here and eat Pizza Hut.
No, you could. I don't think you could pay them.
Like,
Yeah, they wouldn't do that.
I passed too. So
I used to work at Pizza Hut as a
really,
delivery driver
Nice.
and at Domino's.
Whatever it takes to get through.
Daniel Smee, head coach of the University of Charleston men's soccer team, was a delivery driver at Domino's
And Pizza Hut.
and Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
There you go. Breaking news.
When I went home in the summer, I just needed some money and
Yep.
I had a car and it was easy.
You went home.
When I go home to England in the summer when I was in college,
You have Domino's over there?
yeah, actually, it was Domino's and Pizza Hut. Did I say that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Domino's and Pizza Hut. Yeah.
Domino's and Pizza Hut in
Domino's
England.
in England is better than Domino's in America.
I bet.
FYI. As is Papa John's in England is better than in America. Just saying. Speaking of food, guys, you got to get some English food in you.
I would love to. What would you suggest?
Are you going to cook?
The stuff I'm about to recommend, I couldn't cook. But there
Okay,
are some things that I could.
Where are we going to get this
Although
English food?
I'm not a very good cook. You can make a Yorkshire pudding. You need to Google what a Yorkshire pudding is because I don't know how to explain it.
It's not a chocolate
Is
pudding.
it
huh?
sweet?
No, it's not sweet. I don't know how to
Like
explain
grits?
it. No.
No. Yeah, right,
No.
grits.
What's in it?
It's like I don't even know how to explain. I feel like I have to show you a photo, but it's not good for the podcast. You put it on like like at Thanksgiving, you have a meal with meat and veg and all that.
Uh-huh.
We have that almost every Sunday. It's called a Sunday dinner, where you have all the veggies. It'll be a meat.
Like a pot pie?
It's like a pie, but it's got nothing in it. But it has no. It's strange. It's like I don't know how to explain it.
You're not a very good salesman on this.
I know, but it's good.
Okay.
You basically have it on a Sunday dinner, and you can put all your food in it and just eat it like a pie without the lid on it, basically.
What was it called?
Yorkshire pudding.
Yorkshire pudding.
Yes, very good.
Can we buy it at Kroger?
I don't know. You can make it.
Can
You
we?
can cook
Okay.
it, yeah. If you're a good cook, I'm not.
By the way, folks, you can get McVitie's digestive cookie or biscuits, which
Yes.
are cookies, at Kroger. in South Charleston.
International section in South Charleston, not anywhere else, I don't believe.
That's awesome.
I was driving around looking for them today. I was looking for Newcastle Brown Ale too. And
Yeah.
couldn't
Yeah.
find
I
it.
love how we were on the same page with the gifts to the podcast. I was
Yeah.
bringing the brawn across the pond, and he was looking for Newcastle Brown Ale,
Yeah.
some cookies.
Yeah. I was trying to think of which bowl I could bring too. I was going to bring one of each, biscuit, brew, and a bowl.
So one of my favorite gifts, funny story, is when my grandparents went over to England. I don't know, I was probably like 12 at this time, and they told me they were going to bring me home a gift. That they went over to Scotland, did the whole tour. They went to St. Andrews and stuff, and then came back to England. My papa was a big golfer. But anyways, I thought that he was bringing me home a set of bagpipes. Like, I thought I was getting bagpipes, and I was just the biggest fan. I was going to learn how to play them and all that stuff.
Oh, no.
He brought me home England national jersey and,
Okay.
and a Scotland national jersey. So I had one from both teams or whatever.
That's
And,
better than bagpipes.
at the time, I was disappointed.
Really?
Yeah, and I played soccer, but now that I look back on it and I still have the jerseys, I'm glad he got me those instead
Yeah,
of
they're
bagpipes.
good. He
Yeah.
didn't buy you a kilt. You know what a kilt is?
Oh, I know what a kilt is, yeah.
Yeah. You know what a kilt is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
But these were the
need
collar
one.
jerseys.
I need a
What?
kilt.
Yeah. I mean, you ain't getting one from me.
Okay.
Scotland. That's a Scottish thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very
That's
close
true.
to Scotland, but not quite.
Back when the national teams wore the collars, you
Yeah,
know, all
yeah.
the professional teams, and so both jerseys have collars, you know.
They
and,
still fit?
No, not even close. I think it was a small back then,
Oh,
an
yeah.
XL.
That'll be tough.
Anyways, yeah, I was disappointed I didn't get bagpipes, but
What's
They're a nightmare.
what's the Portland
Timbers.
Timbers?
Mhm.
Here's what we got to do.
Oh, no.
I'm going to grow my beard back out. I shaved her down,
Yeah, it looks great.
but then I'm going to bring it back up.
Okay.
We need a big log like they do with the Portland Timbers or something like that. And when you guys score, I need to fire up a chainsaw.
I'm in. You'll have to speak to Bryan Stevens.
I
about
want
that.
flags. I want smoke.
That's definitely a Bryn.
That's
I
a
want
Bryan
chainsaw. I want the smell of gasoline when we score a goal.
I would love that, to be honest. But yeah, we
Like them-
get told to turn the music down in the warm-ups
know.
by the
I
neighbours. So
know.
I'm not sure we'll be allowed a chainsaw.
It's just
and
crank it
log
back
to it.
up.
That'd be great, though. I'm in.
I'm all for that.
I'm in. Bryan Stevens is your call.
Like when the women played state and
That was a
state.
great game.
I mean, the fans were great.
Rowdy.
Of course, anytime UC and state play,
in anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love that atmosphere though.
Yeah. No, I was at the game.
Yeah,
Was that one of the games that we?
we didn't do the state.
No.
No, I was with somebody else. So.
I'm sorry. No, those games.
Michael
were great.
Schultz does a great job though with me.
I don't think I've met him actually. I've heard
Okay. He does the basketball games
I've
with
heard-
me.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen him there.
The ugly guy that sits beside me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I thought that was Todd.
That's on the other side.
Okay. I hope
No,
he-
that's Sam Clark.
yeah, he's good looking. He's a good looking one.
Yeah, he's from England, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
from Carlisle or near Carlisle
Yeah. He's a tennis guy.
on the west side. Yeah,
Sam and Slammy.
yeah. They
Slamming Sammy. I said it backwards.
salmon slamming.
Slamming Sammy.
Have you
I
had
got it.
some of this?
Yeah,
Walk
no,
across the
I'm
pond?
not even, I don't even need that to be goofy, but anyway. But yeah,
I might top myself up a little. That's okay.
Absolutely.
yeah, well, yeah, it's that's what it's called, Biscuits Brews and Ball Podcasts. And Jack Withrow, Bryan England with University of Charleston men's soccer head coach Daniel Smee, or Smee, as everybody calls him, including his wife Kimmy.
Correct.
So, but enjoying the blonde across the pond from the tap,
From weathered ground
weathered ground out of Jet, West Virginia,
via the tap.
via the tap.
That's right.
So,
Man, we really enjoyed having you. Yeah, appreciate you
been-
driving down here, and
That's been great.
yeah,
it was awesome. I'll tell
we
you.
gotta have his wife on.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
on the list.
A rebuttal
She'd be.
of what he says.
She'd be in. I
So,
think.
you know, he
If
told
people
us
people can put up with her accent.
yeah,
That's right.
that New York, Long Island accent.
Yeah.
I bet that gets crazy in your house.
Yeah, the dog doesn't know what's going on when me and her are talking, I don't think.
You got a chocolate lab.
Yeah. Called Alan, named after
Alan Shearer.
Alan Shearer, Newcastle United,
I would have never known that.
Premier League's all-time greatest goal scorer.
Okay,
Played for Newcastle.
I know it now.
There you go. And my dog is named after him.
Brian's got a new dog.
Yeah, Rip.
Rip.
Named after one of the lead characters on Yellowstone, which if you and Kimmy haven't watched the show, it's phenomenal with Kevin Costner. Be a good one for y'all to start if you get time. Obviously, you're going to France, so you're not going to have time here the next few days, but it's a good one.
Yep.
In the off season, it's a good one to watch.
Yeah.
I've got 2 dogs, Willie and Bruno,
Yeah. I heard
golden
you say that.
doodles.
Who are they named after?
Bruno was named by his breeders, and then Willie was originally Scout, but I named him after my dad, who had passed away 2019.
Okay.
My dad's first name was Bill, but his actual name was William, and we called him Willie.
Okay.
So that's who I named Willie after.
So he's young then. Is he a young dog?
Yeah, 2 years old. They're brothers out of the same litter.
Yeah, Alan's like 20 months or something.
Yeah,
He's quite young. He's crazy.
got to get them together.
Rip is a golden retriever lab mix, so got him. I think he's 3 months old.
Yeah,
Golden Retriever. Yeah,
fun.
there's-
Dogs are fun.
There's in my neighborhood. I feel like everyone has a dog. And you just see
Yeah.
them. They walk. Everyone walks around the neighborhood, and my dog goes crazy at the door and
Oh yeah, yeah,
barks at everyone.
same thing. Yep.
Kills me.
But all right, man, this has been fun.
Oh yeah,
We got to do it again.
we will
Down the road.
after the national championship.
Yeah.
2022.
That Daniel
Where's it
Smee
going
wins.
to be at?
Seattle, Washington. It's.
I didn't get to go to Colorado Springs.
You didn't?
No,
Brent didn't pay. It's messed up.
I know.
No, Seattle's every 4 years they do a festival. It's like where every fall sport is in the same venue. 4 years ago was 2018, and that was the 1 year of 7 that we didn't make the final,
Oh,
the final 4, so we didn't get to go. But apparently it's a great time because there's hundreds and hundreds of student athletes there in different
Yeah.
sports.
yeah.
I'm still confused at the venue choice that they have every year. Pittsburgh, we've been to, Kansas City, and this is December, by the way.
Right.
Seattle, Colorado Springs. I mean, they're all negative degrees when you're there.
Yeah.
Why can't we go south? I don't understand.
Let's go to Arizona or Southern California or
Any-
Florida or
Anywhere warmer
Texas,
would be great.
maybe.
Anywhere, but yeah,
Yeah.
we'll put you on the guest list for Seattle. Hopefully we can get back there.
Yeah. I want to go.
You're on the list.
All right, there you heard. Dr. Brent Stevens, I'm on the list. So
Yeah.
next time, or this coming year, when we go back to the Final Four.
Where you make sure you go to the basketball ones. Hopefully, if the men and the
Yeah.
women's team can make it.
Well, I just checked. The men were up by 10
Oh, half time.
in second half.
Good.
Midway,
Oh
I
my
think.
gosh, 2 conference championships.
That would be
First-
great.
It'll be wild.
Keani Kelly has led her girls team or women's team for University of Charleston to back-to-back Mountain East Conference titles. They defeated the number 1 team in the nation in Glenville State. Glenville State was undefeated. Well, they're 29-0.
That's what I heard. Yeah, they were. I mean, Glenville State are very good.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I watched the game when they came to Charleston a couple.
And it
weeks
was a
ago.
good game.
Very good game. I think they just pulled away in the end.
Yeah. University of Charleston was up in the fourth quarter, but Glenville State pulled it out.
They got one girl who's very good. Number 2. I don't.
Yep.
I'm not sure what her name is.
Zakiah Winfield.
Winfield.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's very, very good.
Yeah, but today is the University of Charleston's day.
I hope so.
So they won the women's Mountain East Conference title, and the men right now are playing the number 2 team in the nation in West Liberty. Hilltoppers are very good too. So hopefully they can pull that out, and we can get a sweep of the day. Men's baseball won again this weekend, a 3-game sweep for Coach Robbie Britt. Tennis, men's and women's tennis teams
They've
doing
been
well.
playing in Florida this
They've
week.
been down in Florida along with the softball team. So they were in Florida. They're coming back after their spring break. So it's
The athletic
good
program,
stuff.
The athletic programs are all very, very good at UC.
Yep.
Brand's done a great job.
Yep. So it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun up there.
It helps when they win. I think.
Yeah.
It would be tough to
Yeah.
if all the teams are
I mean,
losing.
I'm not going to
everything.
a losing school.
There you go.
They asked me. I was like, "You guys win?"
That was the first question.
Yeah. And they
We
said,
try.
"Yeah."
We try.
Well, we got Coach Daniel Smee. We're winners.
I listened to your podcast with Nate Burton. I thought that was very good.
Yeah.
He was very complimentary of UC, which I thought was
Yeah.
great.
Nate is a great guy.
Yeah, and he's young. I don't know how old he is now, but I heard him say
35.
Yeah, he's my age. Yeah, and he's.
Yeah.
I mean, just from a facility standpoint, he's doing a great job. I mean,
Yeah.
the
I
upgrades.
still
that
haven't
they've had.
been there yet, but I heard
Yeah.
it's
It's real nice. So, Nate's a rising star in the athletic director world, I think.
Yeah.
It's crazy that he was 29 when he was an AD. I was
Yeah.
29 when I became the head coach, and I thought that was a
Yeah.
lot. But that's AD's next level.
Right.
Yep. But he is doing a wonderful job at West Virginia State. And of course, Dr. Brent Stevens, the athletic director, doing a great job at University of Charleston. But that'll do it here for this episode, number 6 of the Biscuits, Brews, and Ball podcast. You can check it out on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, as well as on YouTube at Video Productions YouTube page. Again, we want to thank head coach Daniel Smee of the University of Charleston men's soccer team for joining us today. Until next time, you've been listening to the Biscuits, Brews, and Ball podcast.